We'll open at 6:03. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Community and Culture Committee. The Council acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which this meeting is being held as that of the Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation. Are there any apologies for tonight's meeting?
Samuel Mears, an apology.
Okay.
Sorry, Councillor Samuel Mears, an apology.
Can I please have a motion to accept apology?
I'll move that, Madam Chair.
Councillor Kondrasky, and second.
I'll second that.
Oh, thank you, Sam. Okay. So staff and public are reminded that this meeting is being recorded for minute-taking purposes and is also being broadcast live to the public on Council's website in accordance with Section 4 of Council's Code of Meeting Practice. The recording will be made available on Council's website.
Madam Chair, can we just make sure everyone's for the apologies and the leave of?
Oh, okay.
We don't have to go through, but is everyone fine
Yeah,
with the
all
grant?
in favour?
Yep.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The order of business is as shown in the agenda, which has been made available. Staff and public are reminded that this meeting is open. Doors to the meeting room are to be left open unless the meeting moves into a closed, which means confidential session, according to Section 13 of the Code of Meeting Practice. Only if the meeting moves into a closed confidential session will the public broadcasting of the meeting be suspended. Council's Code of Meeting Practice prohibits the electronic recording of the meetings without the express permission of Council. Mobile phones must be turned to silent during the meeting. I'll just try to double confirm. Okay. Do any councillors have any interest to declare?
I do, Madam Chair. My apologies, I should have submitted one earlier. It's for the item, the community property report. My son is a coach and committee member at Cars Park Football Club, and Charles Perry Reserve is their home ground. I'll articulate it more accurately in the disclosure. But yeah, so he is involved with Cars Park Football Club, so I'll declare an interest in that because it's named on here. And he also works out of Football St George's office at Jubilee Oval, but I'll still remain in the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So there is one speaker registered for tonight's meeting. I would remind the speaker that speakers have a 3 minutes time limit. The first sound you hear indicate that you have 1 minute remaining. At the second sound, please conclude your comments. So we have one speaker for tonight. It's from Alicia Pear, item in regards to COM 018-22, adoption for public exhibition, amended community engagement strategy 2018 to 2028. So Ms. Pear, are you online with us? Thank you. Alicia, time is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair and councillors. I would like to thank council officers for providing this report, and I'm speaking in support of the recommendation. This was requested in the notice of motion I put forth in October last year in response to the significant community concerns raised by a number of proponent-led planning proposals. The motion aimed to introduce a process of notification for all proponent-led planning proposals received by council to address the lack of awareness by local residents and landowners that a planning proposal may have been lodged in their vicinity, and to contribute to educating the community about the planning system to work with council so that residents could write relevant and effective submissions. This report outlines that the process for proponent-led planning proposals does not allow for proactive consultation at the start, given the lack of status for applications when they are lodged, and an early notification process, would be a significant draw on the limited resources when they mostly end in refusal. The report also explains the difficult and complex task of completing assessments in an insufficient time range and the concern over an appeal being lodged by the proponents to the Sydney South Planning Panel if a planning proposal is refused or deemed to be refused. Further, although councillors can represent the community on the Sydney South Planning Panel, they could be prevented from doing so due to a conflict created by being briefed by council, having voted on any land changes, or even having discussed the planning proposal with residents, further denying our community representation and possible inclusion of local knowledge in that appeal. This report recommends that to increase transparency and local awareness, without drawing unnecessarily on limited council resources, improvements can be made, such as the website's interface. Also, placing a notice on site which is differentiated from site notices that advertise development applications would raise local awareness. Both initiatives would be simple and cost-effective to implement. Again, I thank council officers for assisting with this step in further working with the community and encouraging participation with their invaluable contribution of local knowledge in the assessment process. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Lisa. So we're going to, next one is confirmation of minutes of previous meetings. So COM 015-22, confirmation of the minutes of the previous community and culture committee meeting held on 14 March 2022. I move that the minutes of community and culture committee meeting held on that Monday, 14th of March, be confirmed.
I'll second that, Madam Chair.
Moved.
I thought you said you moved.
Oh,
All
sorry.
good. All good.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Strakopoulos, and second by Councillor Kanjowski. All in favour, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Thank you, so I declare it's been confirmed unanimously. So we're going to the committee reports. COM 016-22, Community Property Report for the period to 15 December 2021 to 31st March 2022. Can I call for a mover for this one? Is anyone going to move the report?
I'll move that, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Kanjowski, seconded by,
Okay, I'll second that, Councillor Luke.
thank you. Thank you, Councillor Warren. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or anything to ask for this? If not, all in favour, say aye.
Aye.
Against? I declare approved unanimously. Thank you. We're going to the next item, COM 017-22, draft 2022-2023 budget, consideration of share the dignity vending machines. Can I call for a mover, please, for this one?
Could I move that, Chair, please?
Councillor Warren, thank you. Can I have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councillor Natalie Maud.
Well, if I could just propose an amendment to that motion.
Yeah.
Just in C, the council consider funding the cost of installation and restocking of additional. I just after the word consider, add the words as a priority.
So that's an item C.
In C, so just that council consider as a priority, and those are the inserted words, funding the cost of installation and restocking. So that's just only that minor change. Just to, it's been a fantastic program. We're helping, by the look of this, you know, like hundreds of women a month, or yeah, more than 100 women a month, which I think is a fantastic thing. And if we can spread that across other parts of our community, we should. So I would just like to add the language about it being a priority into clause C of that recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Warren. Yeah, as far as I know from the director, the machines are very highly used. So I think.
Yeah, they're highly utilised, and they're always likened to a hospital, so they are very valuable. Cogra even more so than Hurstville, we've seen in the last year. So yeah, it's definitely a valuable cause. It's just that Share the Dignity haven't been able to run their usual fundraisers that would allow them to sponsor future ones. So that's why the budget consideration was placed in.
So I think, does anyone have anything about this amendment? So,
You'll need to get a mover and a seconder, but if
if
that's.
not, I go to, if anyone wants to move the amendment, so councillor Natalie Moore, anyone wants to second it?
Sorry,
Can I
Well, I
have
mean,
a seconder?
no, Warren moved it
Oh,
already.
Warren moved it. Oh, sorry, you second it, right, okay.
As
So,
long as it's amenable, we don't need to vote on the amendment.
oh, thank you, councillor Warren. So, all in favour, say aye.
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 Thank you, so we declare approved, thank you. We're going to,
IT guide.
the next item will be COM 01822, adoption for public exhibition, amended community engagement strategy 2018 to 2028.
I'm happy to move that.
Thank you, councillor Warren, can I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, councillor Lansbury. Is anyone have any questions about this? If not,
I do actually have a question because I see we have Ms Bishop here. Just a couple of questions. Firstly, just about process. I was just a bit surprised to see this particular item in this meeting rather than environment planning because it does relate to planning proposals. However, I guess it is a community strategy document. So that's probably why it appears in this committee meeting rather than planning. Is that right?
Yeah, the owner of the community engagement strategy is Sue Weatherly.
The comms and engagement team within my area of responsibility, and the comms and engagement strategy is a policy which applies to all our engagement and all work that we do, not just a small part, and part of it, of course, is the planning work.
Okay, thank you.
And in fact, we adopted it here in the first place, so it would naturally come back.
Okay, thank you. My other question is, in the body of the report, it does have, let me find where it is, on page 24 of the report, it has got the notification requirements, which are fairly minimal. It's my understanding that there is something within the community engagement strategy which does give council officers the discretion to extend that as required. Is that correct?
Through you, Madam Chair, to Councillor Lansbury, yes, that is correct. There is a provision within the engagement strategy that talks about when there is a development application or a planning proposal that may have significant impact or significant community interest, the notification area is expanded, extended to address or pick up on whether it's myself or whether the manager thinks is appropriate in relation to that issue.
Okay, thank you. Would it make sense, because when you do look at the extent of the notification requirement here, it is pretty limited. I think we did amend this during this term of council. I recall we sort of decided to do it just to a very limited area. I would like to see it expanded because, just either side and across the road from a development isn't that extensive. Would this be the appropriate time to expand that? Or do you think that that particular reference in the policy actually covers, so, if there is something, say, for example, a childcare centre, which might impact traffic in a certain location, council officers would just use their discretion and just notify far and wide. So I just know from past experience in the days of COVID, we kind of got caught short. But a few occasions of just doing the minimal. So do you think it's worthwhile amending it to extend it, or do you feel that it's...
Through Madam Chair to Councillor Lansbury, I think it's probably based on, just so the councillor is aware, 85% to 90% of applications are small applications. All right, the residential applications that this notification area is absolutely sufficient. I think the process is working well at the moment when there is a larger application or a more controversial application. So we know childcare centres are, we know boarding houses are, places of public worship. That's just on the DA area. Then in relation to planning proposals, of course, we always go to a larger area. But it really is. I think it is working sufficiently with the director or the manager making that call in relation to that broader area. Ms. McMahon may want to add to that.
Through you, Madam Chair, yes, I'd like to add to that, especially with our planning proposals. We do go further than what is shown in figure 2 because there is a broader impact from our planning proposals. And I agree with the director that the way that the strategy is set up now is working well, and the community does get that involvement, and we do notify quite widely.
As required. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. So any more questions? So if not, we have the mover and seconded already. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against. So I declare it's approved. Thank you. We're going to the next item. I think that's the last item for tonight. COM 019-22, adoption of public exhibition, disability inclusion action plan.
I'd like to move that, Madam Chair.
To 2026. Moved by Councillor Kundratski. Can I have a
Second that, Madam Chair.
Yeah, Councillor Sam Stratford. So is anyone have any questions about this item? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against, I declare this approved. Thank you. And that's the last item. Thank you for attending this meeting. And we finish the meeting at 6:22. Thank you.